Hey, welcome back to Refiner Reviews. This is your hosts, Cameron Smith, the one, the only, the Ginger Ninja.
And today I'm King Austin.
Yeah, stuck on the back of your head still.
Dang it.
You almost got it. There you go.
Get off. Get off of me.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, we know there's been some irregularities in the podcast coming out like the last 2 weeks. For those of you who are listening to these every
Consistently.
week, we appreciate you. But we're going to get back on top of it. We just kind of had some stuff come up. And so moving forward, you can expect it to come out on Friday every week, as it was. We're just catching up. But besides that, yeah, man, back for episode 22 of Refiner Reviews.
21.
Brought to you by Refiner Productions. We are a video and photo production company based out of West Jordan. We do everything from...
Shameless plug.
We got to. That's what it's brought to you by. We do everything from weddings to business commercials, podcasts like you see here. Hit us up. Check out our website at refinerproductions.com. And now that we got that out of the way, let's jump right into it, man. We are reviewing a movie. I don't know if you would necessarily say it was a request. It was just more like a mention, an honorable mention.
Like, I'm interested in what you guys would think of The Green Knight. And I'm like, okay, we'll check it out. And we did.
Kaiser, you better listen to this fucking podcast because we're literally doing this for you. We made this for you. I sat through this shit for you.
As did I.
But yeah, man. So The Green Knight came out this year, brand new movie made by the same director who made Pete's Magic Dragon, actually, or Pete's Dragon.
Have you seen that?
I haven't.
I watched half of it. It's not bad.
I mean, I saw parts of it when I was at the Plasma Center, but yeah, same guy. That's the most mainstream thing he's made.
It has a similar look to it.
Well, it's the same. He probably uses the same cinematographer. But anyway, yeah, man. Let's just jump into some fun facts on this one. Then we'll start breaking stuff down.
The idea of adapting The Green Knight came to David Lowery.
Wait, Austin, hit us with those fun facts.
This is the fun facts.
Okay, I just want to give a minute for the kids. A clap. Fun facts. Okay, there we go.
Okay, the idea of adapting The Green Knight came to David Lowery while he was setting up a diorama of Willow action figures in his backyard.
Have you
what?
Have you seen a picture of this motherfucker?
Of David?
Yeah.
Why?
He's exactly how you would picture the guy who made this movie to look, bro. He's very crusty, bro. He looks very crusty. He's like that guy that you'd find like in the back of a coffee shop, like playing with Willow action figures, going like, you know what? I'm gonna make a movie with swords and stuff.
Yeah, I had to give him some respect on the stash, but why would you take a photo like that?
Because, really? Bro, he's cooler than that, bro. He's cooler. He's cooler than you.
Oh, he's cooler than us. He's making movies. We're not.
If that's what you want to call him, I guess.
Quit hating on him, dude. I know you're jelly of that stash. He's got a good stash, bro.
That's all he's got, bro.
It is all he's got.
He looks like the guy who would make this movie, though. Like, that's exactly, like, I can see him on set. Hey, guys,
all right.
And then we're going
to continue.
This giant head that comes over the bridge, and they're going to be giants. And you're going to eat some mushrooms.
I loved Willow. It's such a good film.
If I could
just have a little Willow of my own and have him in my backpack, that'd just be great.
Sorry, man. We shouldn't be doing the personal attacks, but the guy's a goofy-looking motherfucker.
I'm a goofy-looking dude.
Dude, you don't look like that guy. Like, that guy could be, like, sitting behind, like, over here at the coffee shop, drinking a cup of coffee, playing with Willow action figures right now.
Oh, he probably is.
With a notebook being like, I'm going to adapt The Green Knight.
Yes.
Okay, anyway.
There's an unusual-looking spiral tower shown multiple times early in the film. This is a real building called the Wonderful Barn. I was wondering where did they shoot?
That was a cool spot.
Where did they shoot all of this? Was it over?
It looks like it was in Scotland.
That's what I was gonna say.
It looks like the Scotland. I'm guessing. It looks like the Scottish Highlands. It looks like areas that they shot Skyfall in.
Yeah,
and also where they shot The Dark Knight Rises in the opening with the.
I love those landscapes, man.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, man. That's where we're from, bro. Of course, you live in. They're Scottish. That's
where we need to move to.
They're Scottish.
Anyways, the Wonderful Barn. It is located in Leixlip, Kildare, Ireland.
Okay.
It is
Ireland.
A folly that was built on an estate of Castletown House by Connolly family in 1743, while it served a purpose as a granary. Goodness sakes. It is generally accepted that it was constructed primarily... I'm finding that I slur my words.
I do too.
A ton.
Try to be more...
I'm trying to, yeah.
Try to be more, you know...
It's like
no, I
Captain
have
Call.
to.
Dictation.
Dick.
Dick.
Tard.
You call me a dictard? The way we speak is dictardation.
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 Dictarded. Okay, go ahead.
It is generally accepted that it was constructed primarily to provide work of the local poor who were suffering from dictardation, the aftermath of the Great Famine.
Well, there were a lot of great famines in Ireland. All right, cool.
The pattern of Gawain's yellow cloak is actually the thumbprint belonging to costume designer Malgosia Tazarki's husband.
Wow. That is so... That is just so deep and means so much to the rest of the story.
What does it mean?
I'm really glad they did that.
I don't know what it means.
It doesn't mean dick. It's just literally, you know what? My thumbprint's in this design. Whoa!
I'm not going to lie. I mean, it stuck out.
No, I think I liked the cape. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, we'll get to it. Go ahead.
All right. The crossroads with the skeleton and the hanging cage is very similar to the imagery in the film Willow, where Val Kilmer's character was briefly caged. The inspiration of this film's adaptation came while the director was creating Willow diorama. Amazing, bro.
As I was creating Willow diarrhea,
Just say Willow diarrhea.
I decided that I was going to make the Green Knight. Like he's bad. They're like with a piece of shit. He's like molded into the Green Knight. He's like, yes. He looks like a crusty dude, bro. He looks crusty, bro. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Sorry.
Sean Connery appears as the Green Knight in the 1984 movie version of this story titled Sword of the Valiant. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either.
That is interesting, though.
I didn't know Sean Connery.
I think there's also an adaptation that, or a book that was written by Tolkien about the Green Knight as well. I could be wrong, but I want to say I remember seeing one when we were kids at the library down at Sam Weller's. One of the used books were down there.
All right, we'll do one more and then we'll...
Is there anything really fucking actually interesting?
There's nothing... I'd probably have to really dig. I should have really done
you're fine.
Last night, but...
Go ahead.
That's it.
That's all?
Yeah, let's move on.
Wow, fun facts! It's all good. All right. So now we're gonna go and break down this movie. We're gonna go break down this movie by category. Austin, do you want to hit the good people through the categories?
Willow diarrhea. We have 4 categories. We do now cinematography, then we do music, then we do acting, and then the last is story.
So let's start with.
Well, then we rate them out of
go ahead.
10, and then we divide them by 4, and that's how we get our score. Welcome to Refiner Reviews.
Boom! Dropped it like it's hot.
You should wear your hair down more, bro.
Really?
I think it looks way better, dude.
Really?
Yeah. You should wear it down more,
Where
bro.
Where did that come from?
I'm just saying, man. You shouldn't bun it up all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It makes it like I have more hair when I wear it down, huh?
Well, that, and then also, it's just, it looks, you have good hair, man. You might as well wear it down.
Thanks, bro.
Take the compliment.
It just gets everywhere.
We're taking tick-dardation.
Dick-tarded?
Dick-tarded.
Anyway, and I'm not editing that out. That's staying in the podcast. So let's take it from the top. Cinematography. So the way this film was shot. So we're talking, everything from...
Just the cinematography work.
Yeah, I mean, the coloring of the shots in post, also the framing of the shots, the way they were shot. What's your feeling on cinematography for this film?
I think it looks... It's pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
I think it looks really good. I mean, where they shot it was amazing. So they had... I mean, it wasn't hard to make it look good.
I think, like... And this is the thing, though, is it's like... We go back to this all the time. It's like... What makes a good film? What makes... You know what I mean? Like...
It's a mixture of a lot of things, but if you look at Rocky, the story is... That's what makes a good film.
That's a good example. I mean, but that's what I'm saying, though, is like the way something looks like we have this discussion all the time in the work that me and Austin do, and it's like
Peter McKinnon.
you can make anything
Peter
look good.
McKinnon.
You can make anything look good. Like it's not hard to make things look good. What's hard is doing that and having substance to it, having you know what I mean, having something more powerful to it than just
This looks really good.
That just looks so good. I would hang that on my wall. Yeah. And you know what's really crazy? This is something that we've talked about too. Is as it becomes more accessible to shoot your own photos and shoot your own video, I think it's going to become even more important if you can actually tell a story. Because once everybody can, and I'm not saying this to belittle even what you do in photos. I think you take amazing photos, bro. Hands down, you've become really good at it.
Thank you.
I'm just saying though, I think as that becomes more accessible to everybody, the question is going to be more of like what your stuff's about rather than whether your stuff looks good.
No, story has always been key. Well, even in
I guess context. I think
it's even in photography.
Yeah,
like you can take a really good photo. Like this is my. I mean, I've been
go ahead.
thinking about this for the past weeks forever, and I finally have come to my conclusion on it. I'm not going to share it here, but
why?
Because I'm saving it for when I'm
that profound.
It's not profound. It's just like
no, I'm just curious.
It's just there's like anyone can take a photo, right?
Yeah, I mean not to be mean, but yeah, I mean
anyone could.
It's not hard.
Anyone could shoot video.
That's true too.
But like, you have to take the time to learn and like have that eye for the composition. You have to learn the skill. True. Like you have to put in the work. Like anyone can take a photo, but like there's a lot of skill behind it that no one else sees.
Right.
It's like us for editing. Like no one ever sees the editing side of what we do. And there's a lot of time and skill that we put into our videos and no one sees that.
Right. Same with photos. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying that I think like once again, like so this movie visually, yeah, it's shot well. I mean, it's a professional shot film. It looks good. The color correction, like you said, I mean, some things that you really liked about it.
Oh, I love it when they turned it to orange. Because like
that was interesting.
The grade is really like neutral grays. The greens aren't super green. Like they're almost like a little desaturated, so it will fit in the color palette of the film. But it's like that, I wouldn't say he does like a teal orange look on this, but it's more of a blue orange.
Well, you notice too how he uses color, like he uses lighting color like that, and like when he's in that lake and he's swimming to find the skull, and it goes red, like blood red.
Yeah, and I like those too, but he like.
And once again, like all that stuff looks cool, but it's like,
what are you trying to tell me here?
Doing? Yeah, like,
and that's the problem with this movie.
He's like in this giant lake of red. Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? That's kind of like. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to be a dick, but it's just like, well, I kind of am trying to be a dick because it's kind of like, okay.
Well, you can't be a dick to the cinematographer because the dude executed very well.
No, he did what he needed to do well, but the thing is like what makes a good storyteller is using those things to tell the story, to serve the story, not to serve your own like little self-masturbation session where you're just like, yes, the colors.
Say you want it. I want it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah. Basically, I feel like that's like what this guy did with this movie. But anyway, for cinematography, I mean, I agree with you. I think that... And then there were shots that it held really long that were like just boring as fuck, dude.
They were.
Where it's like, okay, dude, I get it.
He's riding the horse.
I get it. It's long. Yeah, it's like...
He's just riding
there's
on
no
a horse.
Music. It's like, oh, there's
for 10 years.
There's the CG Camelot in the background. Wow. Okay, I get it. Can we please fucking move on now? I'm falling asleep. I literally actually fell asleep the first time I tried to watch this movie because I couldn't stay awake long enough. I had to rewatch it in the night and like drink a cup of coffee because I'm like, okay, fuck me. Let's find out what the fuck this is all about.
I did fall asleep.
Yeah,
after the 2 hour mark. I had 30 minutes to finish it.
I didn't even make it 30 minutes in, bro. I was out. I was like,
it had me pulled in. Well, okay. Anyway, cinematography. What do we?
I mean, I think for cinematography, it's really well shot. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautifully shot movie. I like the part where he shows up on the battlefield that's left over. That's a pretty cool shot.
There's a lot of haze too.
Yeah, he does use a lot of smoke.
Pumped a lot of smoke into this.
I do think, but do I think that it served the story?
I like the framing of when he's out when the girl lost her head.
Yeah, that was cool.
From the pond, and then like they had the light behind
the house.
Yeah,
they were really focusing on that a lot.
Yeah, and I was like wondering, I'm like, where is this gonna fit in, and how is this going to make any sense? Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's more to this than
no. I'm sure there is.
But anyway, so what do you think?
Cinematography, I'd give it a 9, dude.
Yeah,
it's
what
really
makes
well
it
done.
not a 10?
It's just
like
they didn't use it. Well, I
know that's what's tough here is like I think
how are we
like,
rating it? We rating it along with the story.
I think what's tough here is like what's the point of a good cinematographer? What's the point of good cinematography in a film? Like what is its place? Does it just need to look good, or like as I was thinking about this, like you see shots in movies where the camera is literally, it's almost like as the camera moves, it's like if someone was telling you a story and talking to you, and the camera follows, for example, like a cup and goes across the room from one hand to another hand, and then it goes up to the guy who's drinking it, and then from him we bounce over to the guy, all maybe in one shot, and that's visually telling this story, right? Whereas with this movie, it's like
is it his fault though, or is it the editor?
Well, the director edited it too, but once again, like the question is it about the aesthetics of it, whether it looks good, or is a perfect 10 not only that it looks good, but it's also accomplishing what it needs to accomplish.
A perfect 10 is it is pumping on all cylinders.
Like not only does it look good, but it also is telling the story.
It is pushing the boundaries. It's moving to, I wouldn't say it's like next level stuff. Like it's not watching a Nolan film,
right?
Where Nolan,
so that's why you'd say give it a 9?
Yeah, I mean, think about Inception.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that's a 10.
Yeah, but are practical effects what makes the cinematography, though? The cinematography, we're talking about the way the camera, I wonder if we should reassess and address how we rate cinematography, where
let's look up the definition of cinematography really fast.
Yeah, look it up.
Definition. All right. The art of making motion pictures.
Yeah. So, I mean, the art of, like, setting up the shots and stuff and all that stuff's fine, but, like, once again, like, for example, if it's like just holding a shot forever. Like, for example, The Revenant has a lot of long shots, but shit is happening.
You move a lot,
it's visually telling you the story. Yeah. Like, that's a 10, dude, in cinematography, and it looks great.
Him riding on a horse for 5 minutes of the film is... We already know he's going on a journey.
Yeah, like, do we need to sit there and
show the kids run back? No, you don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so I would say like an 8.
I'm fine.
Like, it looks good, but I don't think it's.
It looks really good.
So what's
I even like the way. Yeah, 8's fine. I
we'll
love
do an
the
8
way
for cinematography. Everybody,
they did the lighting on all of the people.
Yeah, I like that too.
Like, there's a lot of really good, and it's also like really dark. Like. Yeah, it's good.
So 8 out of 10 on cinematography for The Green Knight.
Yeah, I should have got the other mic. This thing is just so...
Is your neck hurting from being...
No, it feels good to sit with a straight posture because like usually I'm crouched down to the mic.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am over here. Well, cool. So, I'm going to turn a little bit more. Cinematography, so what's next?
Music.
Music can suck a fucking dick. This movie's music fucking sucks, dude. Let me read some of the notes I made while I was watching it. The music is obnoxious. It's almost so distracting you aren't even paying attention to the movie. Yep. So, if you want to come at me on that.
Hold on. That's a good looking shot of an ad.
So, music.
I don't care. We're just going to thumb through some
Wow,
of this.
dude. Wow. How great. Like, it's giving me a headache even just hearing it.
There's the part.
Okay, I can do that. I can make noises too. Nya, 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 nya. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Your music sucks, dude. It's fucking stupid. It's like, it's trying to be, it's artsy. It's like, it's so different. Bro. Like, I'm picturing like a naked, like a naked teenage boy with a lightsaber in the dark. It's going vroom, 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 vroom.
Dun, dun.
And his girlfriend's in the corner going, ah! And that guy with the mustache is like, yeah, this is like willow diarrhea. I'm sorry, dude. It's no. It's no Hans Zimmer, bro.
I like this stuff.
Yeah, because this shit's like shit that actually is from the
Like
period.
when they're playing
the
with
time.
the puppets and stuff.
Yeah, like actual Gaelic fucking shit.
They
from
should
the
have
period.
pumped. Yeah, they should have pumped more of
But
that
instead,
in.
we did lightsaber sounds in the dark while your girlfriend's going.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's like 5, dude. Like a 5. Like, dude, compared to like John Williams or like Hans Zimmer, sorry, you ain't no Daisy. You ain't no Daisy at all. You ain't.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know, bro.
I liked that stuff more. I liked where it actually fits. I'm not a fan of the Green Knights. Like,
dude,
I kind of liked it.
It literally was giving me a headache, bro. I was literally like, fuck.
Well, the problem is
stop.
because it went for so long.
Like, just stop.
Every
like,
scene with the Green Knight was
or
like...
not nicely, they're standing there in the throne room after he leaves, and it's like, nothing's going on. He's gone. It's like, it's Gawain and King Arthur, and it's, and they're standing there, and I'm like, okay, so, what the fuck is going on here?
His crown's really cool.
Yeah, the crown design's great.
Okay.
So for music, I'm sorry, dude. I think like a 5. Like, it's not good. It's not. Like, there's nothing memorable. Like, I'm not listening to this ever again. I'm not like sitting like down.
Yeah,
like
I'm not
listening
gonna be looking
like
at
jam
that
into
either.
it while I'm editing. Like, I'm not. Then
why are you giving it a 5? I'd give it a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, fucking even better. Let's give it like a fucking 2, dude.
I'd give it at least a 4.
Okay.
Because it had some music that
4
I was
out,
like,
4
I
out
like
of
that.
10.
That's good.
Well, also said they do themes, but like they're not memorable to where I didn't even notice them. I was so
Well, the
annoyed.
Green Knight is the main theme.
Well, his theme sucks.
Yeah. His theme was
And
kind of
I didn't really even hear any other themes on the rest of them.
Well, Gawain had kind of one.
But it's not memorable.
Yeah.
So sorry, man. I'd say, yeah.
Oof. 4.
4 out of 10 on music. Next is acting.
Acting.
There's a lot of really good actors in this movie. So you've got... Okay, hold on. Let me change what I said there. There's a lot of good actors in this movie. There's a lot of well-known actors in this movie.
Dev Patel is Gawain.
And Dev Patel doesn't do a bad job, man. Like, I don't think...
I like Joel Edgerton.
Joel Edgerton's good in everything. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just a pretty solid actor. He's
good.
been in a lot of movies. He's probably the most interesting character in the whole movie.
I would agree.
His girlfriend, who's played by the girl who played...
I liked her,
who was
too.
in Tomb Raider. She did a
Yeah.
good job. She plays Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider, which was a terrible movie, by the way. And
I liked his mom. I like Gawain's mom too.
She did all right too. I want to say she's in something. I want to say she might be the Indian lady in Tenet. I could be wrong. And then I told Austin, the guy who plays
Sean Harris.
The guy who plays King Arthur, like, I don't know why this guy keeps getting casted in movies. I think he's fucking the most boring actor ever. I don't know who's hiring him. Why? He fucking sucks. You guys, I'm sorry. He's the same, like, he's not, like, even if he was the same kind of, like, interesting, that'd be different if he played the same guy in every movie, but he was interesting. But he's not even interesting. He's the same boring guy in every movie.
Yeah, I didn't really...
He was in Mission Impossible, one of Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, and he was boring. He was in a movie, a remake of Macbeth they made with, what the hell's his name's in it? The guy who's in X-Men, he's Magneto. It's going to drive me nuts. But anyway, that movie I liked it better than this, but that's Shakespeare, so, I mean, you got a lot to pull from there. But yeah, I didn't really care for his acting. So, I mean, there definitely wasn't anything that was like Academy Award winning, like, oh my God, this is just amazing.
What's that? The kid, the thief. What else is he in?
He did a pretty good job. He was probably another one of the most interesting characters in the movie.
Barry Keoghan. Let me look. I want to know what
he does look familiar.
He's very familiar. Known for American Animals. He's in Dunkirk.
Ah, that's it. He's the boy. I thought he's the boy who dies. The one who goes along on the boat. Well, anyway.
I'd give acting 7 or an 8. I mean, there's no Academy Award winning acting in here.
At the same time, and here's the thing, in their defense, there's a lot that goes into acting that comes from the director. So the guy who plays Gawain, he actually is in a movie called Chappie made by the guy who made District 9. And
Jeppy.
I really freaking liked him in that a lot. He's a good actor. I think he's good at acting. I just don't think he was really given a lot to work with in this. I mean, he gets jerked off at one point. I guess he did a really good job acting like he was climaxing, which was great. Like, strong work, bro. But yeah, I think like a 7.
7, I think would be fair.
A 7's fine. So let's do 7 for acting.
We got 9, 4, 7.
Yeah, so you keeping track?
Yeah.
We gave it a 9 on cinematography.
Cinematography.
Okay, I'm glad you're keeping track. Because I'm not. So anyway, so let's jump into the story, dude. So story's the most important part of a movie, honestly. It is. If the story's bad, if you don't have a good story, then you're not going to have a good movie, period. It's like Sid Field always says, he was a great guy. He studied screenplays and the writing of them. You can make a good movie out of a great screenplay. You can make a great movie out of a great screenplay, but you can't make and you can make a bad movie out of a great screenplay, but you cannot make a great movie out of a bad screenplay because the foundation is your screenplay. Sorry, guys, I've got some allergies today. Like bad, I don't know why, but
moving on to story.
So with the story, so this is basically from what I read because I took kind of a deep dive into this last night after I watched the movie. It's based off of a King Arthur legend, which is the Green Knight and Sir Gawain. I don't know if we're pronouncing his name right.
Probably not.
So excited, bro.
Don't pronounce anything right.
Yeah. But it's basically, so the original story is that it's the way it kind of goes down in this, but the whole idea of it is that it's this knight who's unproven who goes off to prove himself. And in the story, he proves himself in the original story. Now in the movie, he does too, but the thing is the guy who directed this and adapted this, he leaves a lot of it to your imagination. And once again, there's something to be said about being able to take a story and adapting it well. Because if you can take a good story and then, like, whether it's a novel or it's a legend or a myth, and then adapt it into a movie and just do a terrible job of doing it and make it just shitty. And you may have a great story to adapt that from. So this guy, he wrote this screenplay. And I think there is a challenge to be had when you go back and you try to adapt a legend from hundreds of years ago. Like, I was going to say, I've over the last year, I've watched a lot of adaptations of Beowulf for some reason, because there's a bunch of them on Amazon. I watched the animated one done by, was it Robert Zemeckis, I think? And then I also watched one called The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas, which was adapted from a Michael Crichton novel, the guy who wrote Jurassic Park, who then wrote a book, his version of Beowulf. And that myth is like the quintessential myth, Celtic myth. People go back to that one all the time. Is the hero's journey. And they in those movies, they have a hard time making that story interesting. When I watch them, like, I had a hard time like paying attention to them. And I don't know if that's because they're so far removed from our time now that it's hard to relate to those people from hundreds and hundreds of years ago, or if it's just people doing a bad job adapting an old story. I don't know what that is. And it's the same with the Green Knight. Is it so much that the director in this just did a really shitty job of adapting a story, or is it that the story's so old? How do you adapt it now and make it relevant and make it interesting? But I don't believe that. I believe that you can make anything interesting if you do it the right way. I want to believe that you can make a movie of a lot of things that would not seem interesting and make them interesting if you do it the right way. And I think this guy, in my personal opinion, I just don't think he's very good at it. I just don't think he did a good job. I think he got more. I think it's one of those movies where he got so far up his own ass because he was like, "This is gonna be so different."
Yeah, and it was very different.
That, like, he got so busy doing that he like sacrificed the story. Because I don't think the material it's based on is necessarily bad material. Because the idea of a knight going out and proving himself and coming back and having honor, and he goes over some of those themes in the movie. I don't think that's a bad premise for a story. I just think that he made it really lame.
Yeah.
That's just my...
No, I think he did too, because I think that's one of my biggest problems with the story is, like, because he's not... He wants to be a knight, but he's kind of a piece of crap the entire film, in a way. Right.
Well, and that's... I don't know if in the original story that's what happens. I want to say in the original story that happens too. So in the original story, Gawain does that too. He fails. Well, and that's the thing is like, yeah. So let's get into it. So the basis of the story is Gawain, who's a knight in King Arthur's. He's one of the youngest knights. He's unproven. And on Christmas Day, this Green Knight shows up. And in the movie, it insinuates that his mother, who's the step sister
wrote a letter to the Green
Arthur.
Knight.
No, well, she's a witch.
Yeah.
Like, she conjured him. She created him.
Yeah, she was writing a letter and then burnt it up or whatever.
And the idea kind of is like, at the beginning, Gawain's kind of like in this brothel, so he's kind of a piece. He's not doing what he should be doing. He's, instead of being in church, he's literally, knight. Yeah, he's like fucking a prostitute. And his mother's like, oh, you smell like booze. Like, you kind of get the sense that she's like kind of disappointed him. It's like, you're not ever going to be a knight. But you also kind of get this feeling she like wants him to be king. So it's like, does she create the Green Knight like she does to like get her son into power? Or does she create, because a big theme in the King Arthur stories, I guess, too, is King Arthur doesn't have a son. So Gawain's next in line, because he's the closest family in the lineage. So it's like, but then what's the point? Because you're not like killing Arthur off or anything by doing that. So like, I don't really understand the motivation there. That just seemed really weird to me. But the idea of a mother wanting to kind of make her son, push her son out and make him go do something noble and become a hero, I understand that. So that part makes sense to me. But there's just a bunch of shit in this movie. Like, so for example, so what happens is it's Christmas Day. He goes up to hang out with his uncle and with the Knights of the Round Table. His mother takes off and does all this witchcraft. Ooh, and the Green Knight shows up. And I have to say, the CG on the Green Knight's awesome. I mean, I don't know how much of it is practical effects, how much of it is actual CG, but like, it looks cool. Like, the way they did it, like, I really did like that. It didn't take me out of the movie. I was buying this character when he showed up. And basically, he shows up and goes, hey, I have one of your knights fight against me. And the whole idea is he can, if he can lay a blow on me, then a year from now, he has to come find me and let me lay a blow on him the same as he did to me. So, sure enough, Gawain goes, hey, I'm going to do it. Give me a sword. I think it's kind of insinuated that King Arthur gives him the sword and the stone to do it. And I can't remember if he cuts his head off with his own axe or if he uses the sword.
He uses the sword.
Okay.
He lays the axe down on the ground.
And then he cuts his head off.
And then King Arthur gives him his sword.
So Gawain cuts his head off, and the knight doesn't even fight back. And he says this is a game, like we're playing a game here. Something else, dude, like I didn't like in the beginning was like the whispering, like a Galadriel wannabe in the beginning of the movie was kind of like, okay, like and once again, it's different, like because the way the movie opens, we're going to jump back a little bit here, is him sitting on a throne, and his head starts on fire, and there's this voice going, "I will tell you a tale. Not of a tale of King Arthur, but a tale of
So the Green Knight was a CG.
Really? Okay. See, I was going to say, he looks really good.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, dude, like, I'm sorry. I just wasn't really interested in that. I thought that was kind of okay. So the opening, like, the whispering, like a wannabe Galadriel opening from Lord of the Rings, like, I didn't really care for it. I thought it was a waste of time. So that comes in. So I bet them. They're at the place. He cuts his head off, and the knight starts laughing and takes off. I'm going to sneeze. You want to take it from here?
Boo. I was gonna say Weta did the CG in this movie too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I could see that.
So
Weta Digital is actually the same company that did Lord of the Rings. They actually did a bunch of stuff. They've done a bunch of stuff in the last couple of years. They've done stuff for Marvel and whatever. But anyway, so cuts his head off. The Green Knight starts laughing, gets up, takes off on his horse, which is kind of cool. Like, I kind of dug that. That was kind of a cool thing. And they move on with their lives. And we kind of see the passing of time and the seasons through like this little play that's going on inside the town. The kids are watching these little puppets that are cutting heads off.
Yeah, but you don't feel like time even moved.
Well, and it, not just that, but it's just kind of like boring. It's like, and they go back to that over and over.
Yeah, they
go
back multiple times.
It's like, for fuck's sake, bro, we saw it one time. Like, I get maybe your budget, that's all you had.
Can you show a little more into Gawain's character?
Yeah, and show more like what's going on. Well,
yeah.
And he tries to. He shows him with his prostitute girlfriend who wants him to be like committed to her, but he's like, once again, kind of a piece of shit. Like, that's kind of like the theme of his character.
He's like, I'm a knight. I
just can't really make commitments. I
can't be with you.
And you get the sense he doesn't want to go on this quest to confront the Green Knight. He is not about it. Like, when the time finally comes, his uncle's waiting for him. King Arthur's waiting for him with his sister at his house, and he's like, hey, you're going to be all right. Like, you need to get out there and do this, so it'll be good for you. Kind of like, come on, buddy. Let's do it. And right there's lines in that just don't make any sense. Like, King Arthur's sitting there and he's like, my tooth hurts. It's wiggly. What the fuck? Why? Sorry.
Chill. don't wanna
Why,
get kicked
dude?
out.
Why Mustachey? Why Mr. Stash? Tell me what the... Okay. And then he wrote in his screenplay,
My tooth
hurts, Arthur says. Oh my God. Okay, no, dude. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Willow diarrhea.
Fuck me, dude. Willowria, dude. Get out of here. That's what this movie should be called.
Willowria.
The Dark Willowria. The Green Willowria. Anyway, so he gets sent off. They give him all these things. His mother gives him the sash that she kind of blesses. And he's off. He's off on his journey. Now, something else, too, that I thought was really unnecessary in this movie are these little subtitles that are trying to be Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I couldn't even read half of them.
Well, some of them are so fast. Like, what the fuck did that say?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm Quentin Tarantino in medieval times.
Here's my chapters.
Yeah, I thought they were unnecessary. Like, if you need to stick a chapter heading to tell us what's going on, you're not doing a good job telling your story. Like, and I'd say the same of Christopher Nolan in Dunkirk. Like, which didn't help explain what the fuck was going on in that movie anyway. It was still confusing as fuck. So, anyway, but I guess in the original story, the idea here is that knights, when they go out, they have to face 5 challenges. And so I didn't really pick up on this because that's another thing. Once again, are you a good filmmaker or a good storyteller if people don't know what the fuck you're saying or trying to tell them? Like, is that not part of being it's the same with Nolan. It's like, if I don't know what you're trying to say and I have to go off and watch a bunch of videos explaining all this shit in it, did you really accomplish what you were trying to do as a storyteller?
Well, now that I'm sitting here reading on Wikipedia a little bit about, like, the actual poem that this is based off of, I mean, only one that I can actually see, like, temptation and testing.
Yeah.
Like, the hunting and seduction, I didn't pick up on that at all.
That's in there. Well,
it's in there, but like you really have
once
to.
Again, like
you're not going to notice.
That's what I'm saying. Like so the first thing he does is he meets this boy on this battlefield who asks for money, and I think the name of the heading is A Simple Kindness or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, this is the way to where you're going, and he goes, oh, thanks, I appreciate it. He's like, that's all you're going to give me is thanks, and he's like,
I give thanks. Goodbye.
Which that part was kind of funny, but he's being like a cheese, so he failed in being what do you call it?
Chivalry.
Not chivalry, but being charitable.
Being kind.
Yeah, he failed that test. And the result is that he gets jumped by all those guys in the woods, but that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And dude, the music in that part was just like, that was where I was really going to hit, because he's like on the ground, it's like, whoa, and he's like all tied up on the ground, he's like, no!
I like the transition where they go all the way in a circle and back, and he's a skeleton. I thought it was kind of cool.
That was cool. But like once again though, like it's just this movie's so obscure, dude. It's just So that's the first test that he fails, and that's kind of Gawain's character. Like he's just failing tests throughout this entire movie. The next is he gets free of that and he wanders into this place, and it's courtesy is this challenge, I think, and being courteous. And he isn't. What does he do? He goes into the house, doesn't knock, doesn't say anything, and what does he do? He jumps in the bed and just lays in there. He doesn't ask anybody whose it is. That's why she's like, why are you in my bed?
Yeah.
And this spirit approaches him and goes, why are you in my bed? Wants him to help her find her head. They go out there, and then another thing here where he fails too is he goes, what are you going to give me if I find your head? He's like, why would you even ask me that question?
How dare you?
And it's like, okay. And then he swims into the pond and grabs that head, so he fails that test. It's another test. Now, couldn't you have set this up with maybe King Arthur explaining to him the tests that he'll face? Couldn't you actually have a cool moment where he's sitting with King Arthur, who is King fucking Arthur?
Yeah, they kind of wasted him.
You know what I mean? Like instead you get this actor that nobody cares about that is a total garbage actor, and he just goes, my tooth hurts. Like, you couldn't have given him a scene where he's like maybe trying to prepare Gawain, going, hey, you're going to face these challenges. You should probably try to get ready for these. Like, that would have just made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And it's not because we're too stupid to pick up on your deeper meaning. It's not that. It's that you're a bad storyteller. It's the same with, sorry, all you Tenet fanboys and Nolan fanboys. You're a bad storyteller if I don't know what the fuck you're doing. And it's not because I'm an idiot. It's not because the most of the audience is just too stupid to pick up on my deeper Celtic meanings that I stuck in the story. It's like, I bet people in Celtic times would be watching your movie and going like, now what the hell is that supposed to mean? I'm kind of confused. So anyway, moving on. So he fails that test. He gets her skull, comes back out, and she's gone. He goes back to the bed and realizes that her body's in the bed. Okay, moving on. So from there, he carries on, and I want to say the next challenge that he faces...
This is when he rolls up on our hunter dude.
No, way before that, some stuff happens.
Oh, did I
There's
miss
some
it?
random shit that happens. Yeah, that has something with it. Yeah, it's a great part. So he runs into a fox.
Oh yeah, the
And
fox and the
is
giants.
The fox. Yeah, okay. And this is what I wrote on the giants part.
What the? Yeah. No,
Giants. Why?
I was really confused by the
He
giants.
also does
scene.
some mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. Like, and once again, like all that. Like, here's the thing. Like, where you go to like the original text, this is totally where Mustache Boy just came in and was like, "This is me putting in my imagination. Look at my imagination. I'm so creative. Giant, naked, weird-looking women are giants and mushrooms.
Holding babies while feeding them bitty.
Oh, I'm so creative. Like, what the fuck, dude?
The guys that made Osmosis Jones are more creative.
Yeah, well, once again, every piece of a movie should tie into something else. Now, I get you're basing this off of an ancient story, and you're trying to honor that in some
but
ways.
it's loosely connected.
But there's a bunch of stuff in here that has nothing to do with the poems, unless, I mean, maybe I need to go on a deeper dive into those, but I'm willing to bet.
But you shouldn't have to. That's the thing.
Right, exactly.
Like the story the story doesn't need to hold your hand the entire time,
No.
and you should be able to fill it in, but that's the thing. You should be able to fill
you can't.
it in. Yeah.
So from here, we go into where he meets the hunter, and well, actually, what happens? He passes out, something happens to him, and they save him. Because he gets hurt. He falls down a hill or something.
Yeah, he slips on rocks.
And I think they come find him, and then they take him home with them.
Yeah, and then there's that really crazy, weird shot with like the drapes on the bed.
Yeah.
That look like forever long.
So here's where we meet Joel Egerton and what's her name, who plays, she plays both roles. She actually plays his girlfriend and the wife of this guy. And there's also a woman there with her who's blindfolded who doesn't say anything the whole movie either.
Oh, she said something.
What did she say?
Oh, no, she just touches his face.
Yeah, she's just chilling.
You sure?
She's
she
just
might say
creeping.
something.
I don't think so.
I can't remember.
From here, he meets this guy, and this is like where it actually gets kind of interesting because he's interacting with another character who can illuminate character. That's something else about this movie too. That's like was really bad when it comes to the circle of illumination, which is a rule in
his character
in writing fiction or writing story. There's no one who's illuminating anyone. We're not learning. I mean, we're kind of learning repeatedly that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, like we can do this for another 2 hours, I guess, but I'm getting really bored. Like, can we move on to some actual character growth? So what's nice is once he gets to this place, at least he's interacting with some other human beings that are actually kind of and there's actually some good dialogue here, kind of talking about honor and what is the purpose of being a knight and why is honor so important. And him and Joel Egerton are kind of having this conversation. And same thing with the woman. She's kind of saying like the thing about the Green Knight where like he just covers everything and over time, like almost like she's kind of saying like over time you're going to give in to all these things. Like you're not ever going to be noble or have the honor that you're seeking in a way.
Yeah.
Because you'll give in eventually. And the color green signifies that. I think. Look up green. There is a meaning to the color green. See how we have to investigate all this stuff because this movie was so well made that we understand, like, you know, mere mortals as ourselves who have never.
Green often symbolizes nature and the natural world. It is thought to represent tranquility. Other common associations with the color green are money, good luck, health, envy, jealousy.
There you go.
And environmental awareness.
But like, what does it mean in the Green Knight? There's actually a meaning in the actual movie, in the myth, I think. But anyway, so he's in this place, and you know, we kind of set this thing where this guy's like, "Hey, don't worry, it's not far from here. There's a trail will take you right to the Green Knight. You're almost there. Your journey is almost over. Hang out here with us and chill. I'm gonna do some hunting. You can eat." And something too is like he was kind of starving on his way there, so like he's all about that. He's like, "Yeah, give me some food." And he's also, you know, got a boner for this guy's wife because she's also the exact same actress who plays his prostitute back home. And this is where things get really funky, dude. So he's there. She like does this like old school photography trick. I don't really understand how that was working either. I guess it was magic. Where she takes him to that room and is like, hold still.
It was magic.
And like makes a photo of him, I guess.
The first photo wasn't taken until 1826.
I know, I remember that, yeah. But what is green? Does it say anything about the green?
No.
But anyway, so she's basically the temptation of lust, right? She wants him to jump her bones.
The wilderness of nature and the inner morality.
Immortality?
No, just morality.
Oh, just morality? Okay.
Yeah.
And so she's the test of temptation and lust. She's obviously trying to get him to come fuck her, and he's trying not to. Like, on his... Like, this is where he starts to become kind of noble, because like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't go and do it. And so that next morning, she shows up in his room and is like, "Didn't you want to come to me?" And he's like, "Yes, I did. And she's like,
but I didn't.
And then she's like, and he lost his sash earlier. So now she has his sash all of a sudden. And this part is really fucking weird, dude.
Well, it's weird. How did she get the sash?
I don't know. This part's fucking just weird on multiple levels, and it's stupid. I'm sorry. It's stupid. It's just fucking stupid. So she's in the room, and she's like, do you want the sash? It will bring good luck. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know that sash. How did you get it? And she's like,
I want
magic.
it.
And then she's like, basically just trying to get him to jerk off. And he's like trying to resist the best he can. And she's like, say that you want it. And he's like, I want it. I want it. Ah! Like he literally jizzes on this sash. And we see a shot where he's holding the sash and his jizz is literally on
she
it.
wipes her hand full of jizz on his sash.
It's fucking nasty, dude.
It's pretty gross. And then he wears his jizzy sash all the way to the Green Knight.
I was like, jizz sash. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. And she says to him, she goes, you're no knight. Because he fails the test.
Yeah.
But once again, it's just like, I'm sorry. I guess I found it really just stupid. I just don't really.
It doesn't.
It's like softcore porn. Like, okay.
Well, that's the thing. Ever since Game of Thrones has been made, it's like, oh, we want to show what it was really
Look
like
at that
back
jizz.
then. Look at these hairy ginas. It's like, dude, come on. Like, you don't.
It's pretty funny.
You don't need to put that crap in there, man. Like, I'm sorry that. Like, I like that. The story in Game of Thrones is really good until the very end.
Yeah.
Like, I like the story, but all the nudity and everything in there, you don't need it. Like, there is this thing called class, and there is a very good director.
Sometimes less is more.
Yeah. There's a. Well,
I talked about this before.
I'm trying to think.
In so many ways.
Yeah, you don't need to show everything. Like, you don't.
Well, and the thing, so with that whole thing, so that thing happens, the old lady's in the room too.
Yeah, she's in there
weird.
just like listening and enjoying it.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, I want it too.
And then, and something before this is the owner of the house says, hey, I will give you all the game that I kill, but you need to give me something else. Like something that that you receive while I'm gone. Which basically is like, he's like, you need to give me what my wife gives you. Which is weird. I guess that's in the original story too. And so he kisses him. He kisses him a bunch of times in the original story too. But in the original story, he doesn't get down with her like that. There's no jizz. Now, he kisses her. She kisses him like 3 times. And then he kisses him. But like back in the day, you would like men kissed each other. But it wasn't like, I don't think it was.
I'm surprised he didn't have him just totally jerk that guy off too. Like, I'm actually kind of shocked.
That's what I was waiting for, actually, yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
Please, come on my face, sire. And, oh, the milky sweetness on my nose and in my beard.
Now wipe this on your stash too.
A milky stash.
Carry my seed to the Green Knight.
Plant it within.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, so like that whole thing, dude, it was just fucking, I'm sorry, like, okay, whatever. It's fine. No, not really. It's fucking stupid. So from there, he goes out and he meets the hunter, and the hunter is like, hey, like, you need to give me what you owe me, because basically my wife fucked you. Or my wife jerked you off, so jerk me off.
Yeah.
Instead, he just kisses him, then he goes, all right, I'm leaving. We need to part ways. And he's like, all right, you're leaving, fine. He's like, I caught this fox. You might want to take him with you. And he just drops him off. And so he leaves, and the fox then starts to go, come home with me. Come, turn back, you fucking pussy. And
come live with me.
You're not going to make it. And he's like, I thought we were friends. Get away from me, foxy. And the fox is like, and he does that too with the giants. The fox is like, yeah. And it's just like, okay, whatever, man. I mean, whatever you're trying to do here. I don't know. So from there, he takes a boat, and this is awesome. This is something that's kind of cool, where like the color of the whole movie changes. And what color does it change to?
Orange,
which is kind of cool.
But what's the point?
Once again, that's what I'm saying. Like, whoa. Orange colors,
yeah,
man.
It looks cool, and like
wow.
You got a little bit of a like, almost like a Martian feel to it.
Yeah, a little bit, huh?
Yeah, and you're like thinking that freaking homeboy's gonna come walking out in a spacesuit.
I don't know. Yeah, I am now Space Knight. So then he gets there. He gets up to where the
He gets up to the chapel, and the Green Knight's just chilling. Up
right,
there.
and he gets up to it's the Green Chapel.
Yeah.
And the Green Knight's like, well, are you ready? Are you ready for me to basically
deliver
my Oh, so the Green Knight's there, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, are you ready for me to chop your head off?" And of course,
he waits.
Of course, I was going to say
several days.
Of course, he can't just get in there. Like, we got to watch him wander around aimlessly for at least an extra 5 minutes. Why not? Because we can. This movie has a budget. We got to hit 120 minutes on it. We got to fill in some stuff here.
Oh, we didn't even go over the freaking budget. Dang it.
We can go over it after. So anyway, the Green Knight's there. Finally, the Green Knight wakes up and goes, "Oh, you're here. Is it Christmas already?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's Christmas." He's like, "I'm here." Okay. And so he picks up the axe and he goes to cut him. And this is actually in the original story, too, where Gawain goes, "Wait, stop, no!" And he stops him. And the Green Knight's like, "What are you doing? You've had like a year to prepare for me to chop your head off. You should have known this is coming." And Gawain's like, "I'm not ready yet." And this is a part where I can actually kind of appreciate the attempt to actually do some real storytelling here. Because what he does is it shows basically an alternate future where Gawain is a coward and runs away from the Green Knight. And he goes off and becomes king. And basically it's just like this really quick montage of like what would... And you aren't sure at this point in the movie whether or not this is what has actually happened.
Yeah.
You think, oh yeah, he ran away from the Knight. What a fucking coward.
This is probably the most interesting part of the film.
That's what I'm saying. This is like where actually real storytelling takes place, where it shows him go back, he gets that prostitute pregnant, but then he pays her for the kid and goes, "Yo, you're not going to be my bride, sorry." He gets a hotter redheaded woman who comes along who gives him a daughter, and she's very hot.
Is that the lady that he found the head for?
No, because that lady I think is black. I think she's like I think she's like a ginger. Like, I think she's like one of those people who like is African American but has like ginger hair. Yeah,
because that's
totally different lady. But anyway, it shows it basically just shows like how he carries on being a piece of shit. His son, who he takes from the prostitute, ends up going to battle. He dies. He comes back and his kingdom's in full revolt. They throw shit on him when he's on his horse. He's getting older, and then literally at the end, I mean, his kingdom's falling apart. His wife leaves him, his mother leaves him, and they're battering down the doors to come into his chambers, and his head falls off when he unties the sash.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right. Once again, I guess we're not intelligent enough to pick up all this symbology, bro, that you stuck in there because you're just so deep, and wow, Pete's Dragon, wow. Okay, so moving on. So anyway, then it flashes back to him actually being at the Green Knight again.
Yeah.
And instead he goes, "Hey, you know what? I'm ready." He takes the sash off. He's like, "I'm not even going to cheat with this. I'm taking it off." I guess in the original story, he has that sash and he keeps it on. And when the Green Knight goes to cut his neck, it just nicks him. In the original story.
And in this one, he just is like, "My life would suck if I went back, so chop my head off."
I guess, but then someone said that maybe the Green Knight spares him. Because what happens, the Green Knight kind of stops before and he goes, "Off with your head." And then he laughs.
Yeah.
And it's almost like maybe he's like, "Hey, you know what?" And then the movie ends with a stump and the Green Knight like title comes in. And it's just like, okay, so now that we've gone over the whole fucking movie, which let's talk about this. As a story, is the problem so much that I don't think the problem's with the story. I don't think the problem's with the source material.
No, because he had plenty of stuff to pull from.
I think the problem is
the way he
the
told
guy
it.
who did it. I think he sucks. I think you, sir, suck. I think you.
I do declare.
I think you're that hipster in Hollywood. They're like, "Oh, you're an atheist and you agree with all of our political agendas. Let's give you money and let you make a movie." Well, have you? Because that literally, I read about this guy. Like, I think that's literally what happened with this. I think it's the same with Disney when they hired him to do. You want to do Pete's Dragon, even though you have no experience making a kids film and you've been making weird indie movies for years. Oh, you're an atheist and you probably hate anything that's conservative or on the other side of the aisle. Here you go, come make Pete's Dragon. And there's no way you're gonna fail because it's Pete's Dragon. Everybody's gonna want to go see it with their kids. So there's no way it's not gonna make money. Wow, now you're even more successful. And then he goes, "I was playing with my Willow action figures and making my Willow diarrhea, and I thought it'd be really cool if I went off and made my own weird hipster Willow movie that really fucking sucks."
Oh, Willow had a better story than this.
Oh, Willow's a better movie than this by hands down. So anyway, that being said, yeah, I think he just executed it poorly, and I don't think this guy's a good storyteller. As simple as that. I think he's a weird-ass motherfucker who has a camera and does weird shit. And I think for some reason in our modern-day cinema, we reward that over
good
people who actually want to tell good stories. I think we've seen that. It's crazy. We reviewed another movie that I really shat on a lot, too, podcast named Sicario, and I've been listening to a book on the actual drug war in Mexico and learning like the actual history of all this really cool stuff, dude. Like cool stuff. And it's like there's so much depth to what's going on down in Mexico that once again, the guy who adapted that was just a lazy piece of shit.
Failed.
And I think he did a really shitty job. Like there's so much more down there. There's a guy who literally dissolved 300 bodies in acid to get rid of them. And they call him the soup maker.
Whew.
And it's like that on its own is a story in and of itself. There's an entire subculture of music that's written just about cartels by musicians that then get murdered and that like are being murdered by cartel groups.
That's pretty crazy.
And these are guys who are like being nominated for like Grammys in Mexico, like on the same level at their Grammy shows. And these guys are dying, like to the point where like guys who are competing with each other to the Mexican Grammys Music Awards, they're dying before the award can even be like delivered.
That's
like,
nuts.
That's what there's so much more interesting shit, and once again, that's where I'm going with this. You have these guys in Hollywood, these writers and directors who are taking ideas that are actually not bad. The source material is not bad, whether it's ancient myths like this of a knight learning how going and becoming a knight. Because in the original story, he comes back honorable and he becomes a knight because he goes and he faces his fears, right? And in the original story, King Arthur kind of set it up in some of the versions of the story, I guess, to kind of test him. And that's the thing, is like in this movie, you don't get that sense at all. It feels so disconnected and weird, and there isn't like any real like redeeming, like I guess at the end you could kind of take, well, look, he manned up. And yeah, like that part is kind of like he does come full circle and that's his character arc. But it's so like discombobulated in the way that it's like addressed that you get lost in all the other weird shit.
Yeah, like what's the point of the giants?
That's what I'm saying.
Why
like,
do we need giants?
Stuff like that.
Like you could have him tripping on shrooms, but like have the fox talk then and like explain some tests or something.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Or explain like what is happening with him. Like there's so many, like he had opportunity. He could keep it weird.
Yeah, no, I mean it's walking that fine line. Like, and the thing is, it's not bad because it's weird. It's bad because it's not good storytelling.
Yeah,
and it's weird because it doesn't match up. That's because there's not patterns that are happening in this film that all add up. There's not scenes that all interconnect that make sense. Everything's so fragmented and not connected in a way that you can follow.
It's almost like they cut this movie up in a bunch of pieces. They sent off a bunch of different teams to go film it, and then they all came back with different stuff.
Kind of. Well, the thing that's stupid, though, is a bunch of these things are in the original myth.
Yeah.
But once again, when it comes to an adaptation, you have room. So, like, I was thinking, I'm like, if the argument is, well, I was just trying to stay true to the source material. Well, you're not, because there weren't giant, weird, naked women giants running around in the source material.
Yeah.
He also didn't get a hand job from the lady in the fucking chateau in the source material. So you're not trying, you can't make the argument, you're like, I was just trying to make something that was more real to the time period. No, you weren't. You were just having your own, you were farting into a jar and going, that's my creation.
That's my willow fart.
You're farting jar and going, this is art. And if you say it isn't, you're stupid. It's like, no, you're a terrible filmmaker, and there's the only reason you're getting funded is because you line up probably on the same belief systems as all the people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a movie that fucking Andrew and Steph made me watch a couple weeks ago called The Greasy Strangler. And it was so bad. It was so bad, bro. And this movie was up at Sundance, and it was financed by Elijah Wood.
The Greasy Strangler.
And it was just filled with this old guy who's naked the whole time. He has this massive dick, and he's running around covered in grease, like bacon grease,
the hell,
killing
dude?
people.
What, strangle him with his penis?
No, with his hands.
What the?
And then he has a son who lives with him who has a girlfriend that he fucks his girlfriend.
That sounds like a great story.
It's a strange ass movie, but that movie was at Sundance, so that's what I'm telling you. Like, I don't think that these movies, like that's the thing. That's what I'm telling you is like I feel like people go watch these. No offense, Kaiser. Like I'm not like this is not towards you, but I think people like go, this is so different and original. It's so different.
Like,
it's like no, it's not.
Thing.
You took a hundreds of years old myth and you injected it with your fucking shitty bullshit, and then you went, look, it's art. It's like, no, it's not. It's garbage, Mr. Stash.
If he wanted, well, that's the thing. It was just it's a missed opportunity because like
it's sad because it is a missed opportunity.
There is a want for like medieval stuff, especially because of Game of Thrones.
Right.
And like, I mean, The Witcher is super successful too, but
The Witcher's been pretty good, dude. And I mean, and I have to say, like, I don't love everything with The Witcher, but I think it's done a better job than a lot of recent
other stuff.
attempts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the new season, honestly.
But, well, in the game, like, that's the thing, like, that whole game is about morals.
Right.
And, like, if you're making the right choice or if you're making the worst choice, and you never really can find that perfect, because something always happens, and then it's not always the best option of what happens. And, like, and in this film, I really wish they would have, like, what is a good night? What do good nights do?
Right.
And really dive into that.
Well, maybe that's something that we could visit in a movie. Like, what is knighthood?
Yeah.
What is a knight?
Who is a good knight? Who is a good hero?
Well, and look at another perfect example, dude. This is actually really funny. And we should review this movie, A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
A Knight's Tale is based off of an old school story like this about a knight. And look at the way they took that and modernized it for a modern time and made a fucking super entertaining,
and it even
super
has
fun movie.
And it's weird that it has modern music in it, and it's still good.
It has a funky feel, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like a mainstream movie.
No, that's a weird artsy fartsy film,
but it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
because it's still the story of a boy who's poor who becomes a knight and learns honor and what the point of being a knight is, right? Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we get lost in this thing, like, and this is where it goes back to the whole thing we always talk about. Is it about the aesthetics of whether or not something looks good, or is it about what is the very purpose and function of storytelling? And the function and purpose of storytelling is to teach us things, for us to go and learn or relate or to help us better understand humanity as a whole. Yeah. And this movie doesn't.
It doesn't do that.
It just feels like a kid's art project that just has all this weird shit in it, and it's like, yeah, there's cool things. Oh, the Green Knight looks cool. Yeah, man, the design's cool.
The coolest line of the whole film is then "off with your head" at the end.
Yeah,
and like
there's cool shots.
What really makes me mad too is like you don't learn anything about the Green Knight the entire trip. It's like, why couldn't you have him take some shrooms and then talk to the fox about the Green Knight, get a little more like background and stuff, like make it a little more interesting? Like, I don't know, dude.
Because we just want to show you visuals that you need to read into.
I don't want to see giant.
There's more to it. You just don't understand.
I don't want to see giant titties.
You're not smart enough.
Giant titty bitty.
Oh,
witties.
You're not smart enough.
I don't care for that stuff.
There's more to that than what you're saying.
What I want to know. I want to know, Mr. Willow figure. Stop smelling your fart in a jar. Like,
he looks like the kind of guy we would, but he probably has like, my mustache retains smells of it for years.
I'm sure he does,
for days
dude.
to come.
You probably just.
But I mean, no, dude. I'm sorry. The story. I mean, once again, this is not. It's not a bad story because it's an old story. It's the adaptation was shitty. This is a bad adaptation of an old story that could have been done better, more interestingly. It's an arts film. It's a guy who took a film and was like, I want lights and in locations, and I'm not going to worry about anything else. And you know what, buddy? That's cool. As long as people are willing to pay you to play with your Willow figures in the backyard and use a video camera, I guess that's great. But I won't be going to see any of your movies. And also, I will never watch this movie again.
Yeah,
ever.
Probably not.
It was honestly a waste of time. So, what I would tell everyone out there, don't watch this movie. Save yourselves and go watch A Knight's Tale again. Go watch something that's actually a well-made film, because this movie sucks. So I'd say with storytelling, dude, like, I'd give it like a 2.
Yeah.
A 2, dude. Like, honestly, I'm sorry. And it's not because of the source material. Source material you could have done a lot with. The adaptation is weak, dude.
So this movie was made for 15 mil, and it has grossed 18 mil.
Yeah. So ultimately, its money's back. And if you go back and look at some of his other films he's made, it's the same thing. Like, a lot of them didn't make a bunch of money. They just broke even.
They just barely broke even.
So
he's still just out there playing with his Willow figures in his sandbox.
Bro. He's so good. He's such an up-and-coming filmmaker. Like, this movie was a vision, dude. It was a vision. I just was so blown away by it.
I was worried as soon as I got on there to rent it, and I was looking at the first comment. He's like, "Save your $20. This movie sucks." I'm like, "Gosh, dang it, really?"
Austin told me when he's like, "Hey, we're just gonna rent. Let's just rent it." I'm like, "Dude," I'm like, $20. I sent him like an emoji like with a vomiting face. I'm like, no.
We could just go see it at the movie theaters on a matinee cheaper.
And now because we watched this, and this is the problem with watching movies that look like they're just going to be bad. We just gave this asshole $20 to make another movie.
Gosh dang it.
That's the problem too, dude. That's the problem with watching these shitty movies. Is it's
in
like
my next film, I'm gonna have even bigger.
Thank you for watching my movie to say that it sucks. He doesn't care. He's just glad that we paid $20 to watch his movie on YouTube.
But this time they'll have giant penises.
Fuck, dude. So anyway, I think a 2. You think a 2?
Oh yeah, I think it too.
So let's add up the score because we've wasted an hour reviewing this. Now I've now spent probably 4 hours of my life that I'll never get back rating this movie and watching it and doing all this stuff. And you know what? It was a waste of time. So
I was actually debating on watching it again to see if like I missed anything, but I was just like,
you didn't.
I don't want to do that.
You didn't. Like I said, I think it was a poor execution. I think mostly it's just a poorly executed film. I think the guy doesn't know how to tell a story. And once again, I'm not opposed to telling stories in different ways, but once again, just because something's different doesn't make it good. We're in this world right now where that's how we are in everything. If it's different, it's inherently good. Just if it's different, it doesn't need to actually be like there's nothing to it other than it's different, it's good. We saw that with the new Star Wars movies and the way that the critics rated those. We've seen that with music that's been coming out that literally is this wet ass pussy. Like it's not even like it's different because it's never. Oh, no one's ever said that word like that. Oh my god! It's
the rating for this film is 5.5.
5.5 for The Green Knight from Refiner Reviews.
You're lucky you had a good cinematographer, bro.
Fuck, dude.
You're lucky.
And once again, to all the actors in this film, like not besides King Arthur, I really just don't care
for
that guy. There's some decent actors in this, and like it's not their fault. Like I mean, but they probably love it. They're probably like, that was so artistic and good. I loved making it.
There's just there's no
garbage,
memorable like lines from King Arthur, and you should have had a ton.
You should have had a ton. You had a lot. You had a lot to pull from. You had a lot. You had a very rich world of mythology to pull from, and literally the best you could do is
my tits. I didn't even really think that was funny. I was just kind of
was it supposed to be?
I don't know.
I wasn't sure what it was even supposed to be.
I think he was trying to go for something funny there.
Well, I didn't think it was funny.
I wasn't feeling it.
So, but yeah. So that's that for Refiner Reviews. Thank God we're done with that one. Don't go watch Green Knight. Save your money. Go watch something else, please. You know what? Go watch the new Clint Eastwood movie, Cry Macho, where he's like 98 years old and bitch slapping people still. That probably is going to be a better movie than this movie.
And they named their cock Macho. I mean,
what will we be reviewing next? Well, that's a tough one, you guys. We have a lot of movies in the pipe. It'd be nice to watch one that's like actually enjoyable this time around. We're coming up on Halloween, so we need to do some horror movies in October.
Well, we got Bond coming too.
We do. That's true too.
So we need to crank a Bond in.
I don't know. I don't really want. It's the same as we're always talking about. It's like I never really want to commit to what the next one's going to be on these. But
all right. Well, surprise on
the next one. But yeah, hey, thanks for tuning in, you guys. Once again, we appreciate everybody who's following this and listening to it. Let us know what you think about The Green Knight. Have you seen it? Did you like it? Do you think we're totally wrong? I mean, are you into those artsy-fartsy movies? Kaiser, tell us why you think this is a good movie. Like, give it to us straight. Like,
send me a text.
I'd like to know, like, your reasoning behind why you liked it. And if it's just because it looked cool, okay.
It is pleasing to the eye to watch.
Oh, especially the jizz sash, dude.
When
I saw his cum on that sash, I was like, dude, that looks so good.
You're like, that is not CG. That's real. That is real.
The director probably jerked him off himself.
Probably with his little Willow action figure in his other hand.
Little Willow hands. Willow.
Does this feel like a midget? Does this feel like midget hands?
Oh,
Should I use my feet instead?
So wrong, dude. But anyway, yeah, let us know what you guys think. And send in requests. I know there's a few more to do. I know Orlando sent one for the Django Unchained. We are going to get to that.
We got Uncle Tom's Cabin, too, by Demery.
It wasn't Uncle Tom's Cabin. It was the house that Jack built.
The house that
Which
Jack
I think is going to be
built.
an artsy-fartsy one. But, hey, man, let's give us some time to recover from this one, and we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, keep sending your requests. We love doing them and kind of seeing the movies you guys are watching as well. But, yeah, man, thanks. Please review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. We really appreciate your guys' support. And this is brought to you again by Refiner Productions. We are a video and photo production company based out of West Jordan. We do everything from weddings, commercials, hopefully someday movies that are better than this fucking piece of shit we had to watch. But yeah, thanks guys. We appreciate you. There's much more to say.
No, that's about it.
But
Don't watch The Green Knight. Avoid it at all costs.
I could make a more entertaining movie just
Maybe.
here with this sword by myself in this coffee shop.
Probably.
But anyway, hey guys, we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you guys next time. This is Cameron signing off.
I'm Austin.
Peace.
Love you, bye.